So, on to one of my real life reactions. Thursday night, we saw the Los Angeles Lakers complete a trade that would bring Russell Westbrook home to the city of Los Angeles. What are your initial thoughts on Westbrook to the Lakers?
um, Initially, I when we talked about for years that Westbrook has flirted with the idea of going to a hometown team. We weren't, everyone thought about the Lakers, but technically, Clippers are there too, of course. And it just seemed like that was always a really strong possible destination. Turns out, of course, we're right, and he's a Laker. Um, and it turns out, and LeBron and AD had some conversations maybe a week or two before, and he couldn't. It wasn't like a walk. He didn't just sign with them. There's a trade, so of course it just seems like the perfect fit. I wasn't sure if the Lakers were going to be able to pull off a trade like that, like Bradley Beal. I thought the Buddy Hield, like that talent range was more like reasonable in what the return could be. But it's just right time, right place, I guess, for Westbrook and for what the Washington team is trying to do. Um, it's an interesting team dynamic makeup now for LA because you kind of have like mini LeBron now with LeBron,
Right.
and, and in a lot of ways, I'm not trying to say they're identical. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying they bring a lot of the same things to the table and what they can bring to their team immediately. So, but it's still LA still has bringing Westbrook. Where are you going to have your shooting come from? Yeah, you. It's a huge get, and on but they're still going to have to work out the way the ball is going to be other shooters because it seems like if you have all three of them on the court, then you have to have guys that can knock down shots, and they've proved the last couple of years that outside of the playoff performance when they won the championship, they haven't proved to be a great 3-point shooting team or anything. So they have to be able to. I'll be interested to see how their like roster spots. Machine, um, he can run an off for the Lakers, and it's just going to make them exciting, even more exciting and fun to watch. So I just hope those guys can all stay healthy together, and I'm interested to see next season. And like I said, who they fill the roster with.
Oh, definitely. You broke up just a little bit, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. So, from what I gathered, you were saying that they need to construct a decent team around them to where they can have shooters as well, because you're right, the Lakers haven't had a strong 3-point shooting team since LeBron's been there. So, that's definitely something that they need. Some of the names that I'm hearing are Wayne Ellington, who's a knockdown 3-point shooter. As far as defense and 3-point shooting, they're thinking about Trevor Ariza. And then just from a defensive standpoint, they're actually thinking about Andre Iguodala. Um, and I've also heard they're looking at Goran Dragic if the Heat let him go. So they're looking at veterans out there that they can get for the cheap because you have to because they don't have any money to build around a core that's going to be LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. So on paper, it looks devastating, but we all know again they have deficiencies with shooting. Um, I think, and I said this morning again to my wife and my brother-in-law, I think that this is the perfect scenario for LeBron to kind of take a step back, um, and then let Russell and AD do the heavy lifting during the regular season. So, how do you feel about that? Is this when LeBron can't do? Is this where LeBron can finally do a step back?
Yes, of course, and I think he's going to have to. Like I said, Him and Westbrook bring a lot of things, same things to the table when they're on the court at the same time, even though they play different positions. AD also is going to need to have the ball in his hands. We'll see who you get, but I think this is more not that LeBron is necessarily gonna like you're not gonna see him on the court at all or anything like that. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a drop off. I think it's gonna be more like he's taking away LeBron and Bosh come. Like he should be looked at as the leader, LeBron, and but he should defer to them. I was saying this the other day with this development. To me, this needs to be Anthony Davis's year to stand out amongst the three. The excitement is all around Westbrook, of course, because he's the new guy on the team. But I think for this to really work and for them to get another championship, Anthony Davis is the one that really has to step up. I think LeBron is going to do his thing. I think he's going to be in cruise control the whole season, and then because he wants to rest up for the playoff run. And I just think we're going to see the other two guys shine a little bit bigger than LeBron for most of the season.
Oh,
Compared
absolutely.
to what we've seen from LeBron in the past.
Absolutely. But that has to be a conscious decision made by
It's
LeBron to
that
do
time.
so. Yeah. He has to
And to be
decide to do
honest,
so.
I mean, we're talking about a huge. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like cut you off. It was like a delayed sound for a second.
Yeah, no,
But
you're good.
when they had this conversation with Westbrook, I'm sure they talked about that. I mean, it's Westbrook, right? They know what they're getting themselves into. He's gonna know. He's know what he's getting himself into. I really think they probably already had some of this conversation that we hope they're having.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They would have to because you can't bring Westbrook in and then try to stifle his game. You can't do that. You have to let him do Westbrook things. You have to let Anthony Davis do Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Davis things. Um, LeBron has to be the facilitator. Yeah, he's gonna be on the court, but they have to use him as like a decoy or driving kick guy. He has to be that facilitator so that Westbrook and AD can do the most of the damage. I don't know why I can't talk today. Good lord. Um, so that's how
Do you
I
think they
see it.
called for Bradley Bill and then they got the offer for Westbrook instead?
I don't think so because Bill's, as far as I've heard, Bill said he wants to stay in Washington. So um, yeah, I don't think they called for Bill at all.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, the Buddy Hill thing. I know we laughed about this the other day, but the Buddy Hill thing wasn't going to give you a championship. It just wasn't. Um, this is a more interesting move that can possibly get you a championship or maybe even two going forward, which will get LeBron to that magic number of six that he's selling his soul to get. So um, this is the move that made the most sense for them. Now they just have to figure out how to play together. So
Yeah.
not bad though. Not bad. We both like the move.